Well, there you have it. Those were the headlines this morning on Good Morning Africa. And there's lots more coming up on the show today. What's up next? Well,
up next on Going Current, we bring you a chat which Taryn had with Dick Sherrod. Now, he's the Regional Director of Stratus Technologies. Let's hear it.
Sanibonani, goeiemorgen, and welcome to your biggest and brightest breakfast show, Good Morning Africa. On Going Current this morning, I have in studio the Regional Manager of Stratus, Dick Sherrod. Good morning, Dick. It's good to meet you.
Good to see you as well.
Thank you for joining me. I know it's quite chilly in Joburg this morning.
It is.
Got you up at the crack of dawn. But it's good. It's good. We're more productive that way.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So tell me more about Stratus. What is it that you do?
Well, Stratus is an interesting technology company. What we basically do is make sure that other businesses stay in business. And we do that, we do that quite simply by providing some very resilient technologies and service models that allow businesses to worry about their business and not worry about their IT, which is an unfortunate angle that everyone has to take care of. It's a necessary evil. But what we do is we build robust equipment where we replicate every component within one of our servers. The idea being that we know stuff will fail, but that really shouldn't be a reason for business to fail. So we've been doing this now for 30 years. And,
that long.
You know, not many people hear about us, but those that know us, you know, appreciate the value that we bring to their businesses.
And when did it all start? Why did you find the need to start Stratus?
Well, before my time, but 30 years ago, there was clearly a market for very robust technology. And I think in the early days, the types of people that would look for something that was better than what was available at the time were the likes of the banks and the stock exchanges and probably the financial services industry. Because building very robust technology 30 years ago was very difficult and very expensive. Pleased to say that now, you know, the technologies have advanced and they're much less expensive. They're very affordable to businesses large and small. So, you know, the company started 30 years ago. I think what's more important is what happened in Africa.
Definitely.
And, you know, I was fortunate in being given the chance to come and start up the African business. And that was just over 11 years ago. I came here for a very short 2-year spell to get things up and running. And, hey, I'm still here 11 years later. So. I've got Africa running through my blood.
That's Africa for you.
Which is great, yeah. Why would we, apart from cold mornings like today, why would we want to be anywhere else? So, so we started up the business in Johannesburg as the basis for our African business. And we've now got partners spread all across the continent, this vast continent that we live in. From the west coast to the east coast, not too much in the middle. You know, there's too much sand still in the middle for business protection. But you know, it's been a very successful location for us to grow our business. Quite recently, I've just added the Middle East as well, and it's quite interesting looking at the contrasts between the African and the Middle Eastern business. And I was surprised how far forward we are in Africa with our mindset around protecting business. You know, people don't see this as a luxury anymore. You know, as consumers, we expect everything to be there all the time.
Yes.
You know, the internet, a great example. If we go to a website looking to shop, and that system isn't available, or we're trying to book tickets for a pop concert, if it's not there, then we've got choices now. We can just go and click somewhere else. So a lot of the people that we protect are companies who have a web presence, and you know, that's very important for their business.
And you were speaking about technology and how it's advanced, particularly in Africa. With it advancing at such a rapid pace, how does a company like Stratus keep up? And do you have any competitors that you have to worry about?
Yeah, well, competitors is very interesting. I get asked this question quite a lot. So if we think about what we do, we try and help businesses, great or small, stay in business. And we do this by providing, you know, essentially product and services. There are alternatives, you know, and that's that people often try and do a homegrown solution. So they'll take other pieces of technology, drag them screaming and kicking, find a way of trying to make those interact together, which they weren't designed to do. And so, you know, those solutions can be built. The challenge there, though, is you're very reliant on people So you need people to architect that type of solution, to bring these ingredients together, if you like. And then you need those people to be around forever to make sure that it works, you know, as advertised. The challenge there is the smartest people that put those solutions together don't want to be left babysitting. They want to be off doing the next creative thing. And in Africa, you know, we have a limited amount of resource that's familiar with IT in the most critical parts of business. And those guys don't want to be babysitters. So our solution really is designing technology that allows you to not have that dependency on people. And I think that's been very much part of our success in Africa. You know, we can deploy our solutions in a data center, in a computer room where the headquarters of a business are. But equally, we can deploy them in a very remote location. So if I give you some examples of our customers, you know, that might give you some idea of the diversity of deployments. So in a typical data center model that we might have here in Africa, it could be one of the telcos or it could be one of the big banks. And we're there where all the resources are. So that's an obvious place. But if you start wanting to take availability or uptime out to the branches, that's not something you can do with people. If your business happens to be a water treatment plant, providing clean water perhaps and managing the flow of water, you don't have those skills out there, where the business front end is. And that's really where we win very well. Oil rigs. You know, there are smart people in oil rigs, but they're generally in the process side of the business, not the IT side. If things break in an oil rig, you know, it's very difficult to get parts very quickly to repair. So our design of having replicated parts in the server is one where we've been looking forward to the fact that hardware will fail, but you know what? That's not a good reason for business to fail. So, you know, a lot of 30 years of thought process has gone into the technology that we're able to provide today. But absolutely the reason people look to us is they want to carry on running their business. You know, people generally want to make money, or they want to save money, or they want to save lives. And so we provide services to, you know, fire, ambulance and police services. You know, much more important than money, you know, is the protection of people's lives. And,
Definitely.
It sounds quite obvious, you know, traffic management systems. Not the one here in Gauteng, but in other parts of the world, whether it's the management of the traffic lights, say at the Olympic Games, so the Beijing Games, having a system that can move the athletes quickly from their accommodation to the stadium, managing all of those lights, being able to guarantee that they won't fail. You can imagine what would happen, you know, during the World Cup if the lights were to fail. We would have been in terrible trouble here. So, you know, that kind of thing.
And with Africa becoming such a popular tourist destination, especially having the World Cup here, and possibly other events.
So if we look at the whole hospitality and tourism industry, you know, the first point of contact is often the airport. You know, people make their impression of a country by the airport.
Definitely.
I certainly do as I travel. You know, we've got a first-class airport here at ORT now. But if you think about all the things there that can't afford to fail, you know, there's the payments part. When you swipe your card, you're rushing to a gate. You can't wait for the manual process to kick in. Whether it's the display showing you when your flight is arriving or departing, whether it's actually the air traffic control or the apron management, these are all areas where we provide assistance to businesses.
And that sets the tone for the rest of your stay, because if you can't swipe your card, you can't see the sign that says when your flight is departing.
So and some of our partners locally were quite innovative during the World Cup. They put together a virtual card so that people could trust a payment method, combined with a cell phone, which allowed them to track the use of that card. And even having some cell phones with a little television on there for them to watch the games that they couldn't get to. So our kind of customers are quite imaginative in many of their solutions.
That becomes very useful, because as a lady, all you do is swipe, swipe, swipe.
Spending.
And without that cell phone going off.
So let me give you an example then. If we look at the banks here in South Africa, you know, they've typically got 3,600 ATMs or more. And I'm sure if you go into a mall on a Saturday morning, you'll see we're queuing to use them all. A bank charges us about $1 to take money out of our account here in South Africa. So if there's 3,600 ATMs, okay, and you can use an ATM about one transaction a minute, that means that the banks are processing around 60 transactions a second.
Wow.
If every one of those generates around $1, there's good revenue that needs to be protected. So very often here, the big banks here in South Africa, you know, they use our technology to allow them to keep doing that, which is, you know, take money from us as consumers. So. I'm sure they'll hate me for that, but it's true. You know, it's all about staying in business, and whether it's making money, saving money, or saving lives.
Thank you very, very much, Dick. Fortunately, we run out of time.
Yeah, cool.
But if our viewers would like some more information about Stratus, do you have an email, website address?
Website, it's very, very easy. They all start www, then it's .stratus.com, stratus.com.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for your time as well.
And thank you to our viewers across Africa for joining us on this lovely morning. If you have any comments, questions or queries for us here at Good Morning Africa, please email us at gma@planetimage.co.za. Enjoy the rest of your day, and back to the guys in studio.
The third edition